There are moments in life when silence isn't peace, it's a profound, isolating roar. Have you felt that crushing weight? That invisible burden that seems to press down on your very soul? The kind of weight too immense for words, too personal to share, leaving you feeling utterly alone even in a crowded room? It's that insidious whisper, isn't it? The one that tells you no one truly understands, that your struggles are uniquely yours, and that the world continues to spin, indifferent to your deepest turmoil. It's the silent battle you fight every single day, convincing yourself to just keep going, even when every fiber of your being screams to stop. This isn't just about feeling lonely. It's about a fundamental disconnection, a sense that your voice, your pain, your desperate questions are echoing in an empty void. You find yourself searching, yearning, for something or someone to acknowledge the depth of your despair, to provide a flicker of understanding when everything feels dark. This search often leaves us more exhausted, more disheartened, as we fail to find the external validation or comfort we crave. We become masters of masking, perfecting the art of pretending everything is fine, while internally, the foundations of our spirit are cracking under the strain. You wonder if this feeling is a weakness, a flaw unique to you, a sign that you are somehow not enough to face what life has thrown your way. This internal monologue, this relentless questioning, can be more draining than any external battle. It chips away at your resilience, eroding your hope, leaving you stranded on an island of your own making, surrounded by an unbearable quiet. That profound isolation, that sense of being completely adrift, can become the heaviest burden of all. But what if that insidious whisper, that voice of isolation, is not the truth? What if, hundreds of generations ago, a figure whose life mirrored the most extreme highs and devastating lows imaginable, left behind a revolutionary blueprint for navigating precisely that desolate feeling? Imagine a man, a shepherd boy elevated to king, a courageous warrior, a sensitive poet, who knew the bitterness of betrayal from his own son, the agony of losing loved ones, the crushing shame of his own moral failures, and the terrifying loneliness of being hunted and abandoned by those he loved. Yet, through every harrowing experience, every moment of triumph and devastating setback, he maintained an unbroken, raw, and profoundly honest conversation with the divine. His words became a timeless reservoir of human experience, a profound dialogue that has resonated across millennia, making your deepest struggles heard, seen, and profoundly understood by a voice that has traversed time. This isn't about escaping your present reality. It's about gaining an entirely new lens through which to view it, a perspective that transforms isolation into connection. It's about discovering that your pain, your questions, your moments of doubt are not anomalies, but an intrinsic, universal part of a grand, ancient narrative of faith, resilience, and ultimate triumph. His writings, born from the crucible of human suffering and divine encounter, offer a clear, compassionate pathway out of that deafening silence. They serve as an intricate yet deeply personal guidance system, designed to reorient your heart and mind when life's compass seems to spin wildly out of control. This isn't ancient history to be passively studied. It's living, breathing wisdom, ready to be actively applied to the precise anxieties, fears, and uncertainties you face right now. So prepare yourself. Prepare to unlock the unexpected transformative power of David's Psalms, not as mere verses from a dusty book, but as your intimate companion, your daily mentor, your unwavering light through life's toughest seasons. Your personal journey to understanding, to genuine connection, and to finding an unshakable inner strength begins now, as we turn our attention to the remarkable man who first articulated these profound truths for all of us. Before we even begin to truly grasp how the Psalms can fundamentally reshape your life, how they can offer a new lens through which to perceive your own pain and navigate your deepest struggles, we must first confront a common misconception, a quiet misunderstanding about the very man who gave us these profound verses. Many of us, when we think of biblical figures, perhaps picture stoic, faultless saints, distant paragons of virtue whose lives bear little resemblance to our own messy realities. But when we speak of David, the author of the vast majority of these Psalms, We are speaking of something far more complex, far more human, and therefore infinitely more relatable. This wasn't some perfect, untouchable saint residing in an ethereal realm beyond the reach of human frailty. No, David was an ordinary shepherd boy, plucked from obscurity, who dared to face giants with nothing but a sling and faith. He became a valiant warrior, leading armies, tasting the heady rush of victory and knowing the crushing weight of command. He ascended to the throne, a king, a symbol of divine anointing. Yet his reign was riddled with political intrigue, family strife, and personal moral catastrophic failures. His life, if we are truly honest, was a tumultuous roller coaster, a whirlwind of exhilarating triumph and devastating, heartbreaking failure. Consider his story. He was chosen by God, yes, but he also faced betrayal from those closest to him, endured years as a hunted fugitive, battled deep-seated fears, carried the immense burden of guilt from his own egregious sins, and knew the agonizing sorrow of unimaginable loss within his own family. He was a man after God's own heart, yet also a man who stumbled spectacularly, who knew lust, deception, and the bitter taste of consequence. This complexity, this raw, unfiltered human experience is precisely what makes his Psalms revolutionary, what makes them speak to the very core of your being, even today, thousands of years later, is not their supposed perfection, but their utterly authentic, unvarnished honesty. David didn't just sing praises to God when things were going well. Oh no, he did so much more. He argued with God. He wept openly in despair. He questioned the divine silence when his world was crumbling around him. He felt abandoned, even cursed at times. These aren't polished, performative prayers designed for an audience. These are the visceral, guttural journal entries of a soul laid bare before the divine. Imagine writing down your most shameful thoughts, your most agonizing doubts, your most furious accusations, and presenting them directly to the Creator of the universe, without reservation, without pretense. That is the essence of David's Psalms. He wasn't afraid to express his confusion, his anger, his profound sense of injustice, alongside his profound adoration and trust. His writings represent an unfiltered dialogue, a conversation where every human emotion is validated and given voice, not suppressed or sugar-coated for propriety's sake. And that, my friends, is why these ancient texts speak directly to your unedited, messy, real-life struggles today. When you feel unheard, when your questions have no answers, when your heart aches with a pain words fail to capture, David has been there. He has felt it, written about it, and processed it in a way that provides a template for your own healing. His very imperfection, his profound humanity, becomes the bridge that connects his ancient words to your present reality. He models a profound intimacy with God, one that includes crying out in desperation just as much as it includes shouting for joy. He shows us that faith is not the absence of doubt or struggle, but the courage to bring all of it, every single messy piece, into the divine presence. His story reminds us that even when we feel utterly broken, flawed, and unworthy, we are still seen, still heard, and still loved. It's a radical invitation to honesty, an assurance that our deepest cries are not too much for God, but rather the very pathway to connecting with Him. So if these Psalms emerge from such a complex, deeply human journey, how then do we in our own contemporary struggles tap into this ancient, yet utterly modern wellspring of strength and guidance that David so bravely pioneered? So if these Psalms emerge from such a complex, deeply human journey, how then do we in our own contemporary struggles tap into this ancient, yet utterly modern wellspring of strength and guidance that David so bravely pioneered? The journey begins with what might feel counterintuitive, a profound shift in how we approach our pain, a practice I call the art of the sacred lament. Think about it. When life hits hard, what's our default? We're often told to be strong, to stay positive, to look on the bright side. We internalize this pressure, believing that to express our sorrow, our anger, our confusion, our sheer desolation is a sign of weakness, a lack of faith, or even worse, a form of complaining. We feel guilty for our negative emotions, don't we? We push them down, we mask them, we try to power through, believing that by suppressing them they will somehow disappear. But what if that approach is actually suffocating our souls, preventing true healing and connection? David, in his Psalms, reveals a different path, a radically liberating alternative. He doesn't just model how to feel profound sorrow or anger, he models how to express it, raw and unfiltered, directly to the divine. This isn't complaining, understand? This isn't wallowing in self-pity. This is a profound, courageous act of faith and honesty. He invites us to give voice to the unspeakable, to channel our darkest thoughts, our deepest fears, our most searing pain, directly into a conversation with the God who made us. He cries out, my God, why have you forsaken me? Why are you so far from saving me from the words of my groaning?" Psalm 22:1. He doesn't hold back. He doesn't sugarcoat. He doesn't pretend to be okay when he's not. This is radical vulnerability, isn't it? It's saying, I trust you enough, God, with my absolute brokenness, with my rage, with my questions that have no easy answers, with the very core of my despair. This honesty, this unflinching confrontation with his own pain and with God, is precisely what transforms mere suffering into sacred dialogue. It tells us that our pain, our tears, our unanswered questions are not too much for God to handle. In fact, they are often the very language of a soul, desperately seeking connection, seeking meaning, seeking a handhold in the midst of the storm. Consider the implications of this. In a world that often demands a facade of perfection, David's lament gives us permission to be fully human, fully broken, fully ourselves before our Maker. It is an invitation to empty out the burdens we carry, not into a void, but into the loving, all-encompassing presence of the divine. So how can you embrace this ancient yet revolutionary practice in your own life? Begin by acknowledging the feelings you've been suppressing. What deep sorrow have you kept hidden? What anger feels unjustified to express? What fear has you paralyzed? Then, like David, take those raw emotions and lay them out. You don't need eloquent words. You need honesty. You might even try writing your own lament, using David's Psalms as a guide. Start with expressing your pain, your desperate cries. Ask your questions, however audacious they may seem. And then hold space for what comes next. For often, through the very act of honest expression, a subtle shift begins, a movement towards hope, a whisper of peace in the midst of the storm. This isn't just about feeling better, it's about fundamentally changing how you relate to your pain, and ultimately, to your Creator. Are you ready to stop holding back and truly give voice to the unspeakable? You've poured out your heart, haven't you? You've engaged in that sacred lament, giving voice to the unspeakable, truly laying bare the raw edges of your pain before the divine. That in itself is a monumental step, a courageous act of honesty. But what comes next? Does the weight simply vanish? Not always. Sometimes the echoes of your own cries can still feel overwhelming, threatening to pull you back into the depths. This is precisely where David, in his profound wisdom and his deeply human struggle, shows us the next essential step, what I call the perspective pivot. This isn't about denying your pain. It's not about pretending the struggle isn't real, or forcing yourself into some Pollyanna-like optimism. After David has screamed his questions, wept his tears, and wrestled with his doubts, you'll often see a remarkable shift in his Psalms. He moves from the intense focus on his overwhelming problem, the crisis directly in front of him, to a conscious, deliberate declaration of God's unchanging character and power. He literally pivots his perspective. Think about it. When we're in the throes of anxiety, grief, or fear, our vision narrows. Our problem becomes the entire horizon, consuming our thoughts, dictating our emotions, and obscuring everything else. We become fixated, trapped in the immediate, unable to see beyond the storm clouds directly overhead. David, through the Psalms, demonstrates a strategic mental and spiritual recalibration. He doesn't just forget his troubles. Instead, he consciously, almost intentionally, shifts his gaze. He deliberately remembers who God is, what God has done, and what God has promised. He might begin a psalm with, "Why are you downcast, O my soul?" Why so disturbed within me? A clear reflection of his lament. But then he pivots. Put your hope in God, for I will yet praise him, my Savior and my God. This isn't forced optimism. It's a profound act of choosing where to place his trust, where to anchor his perspective when the world around him is in chaos. He reminds himself, and by extension he reminds us, that our circumstances, however dire, however consuming, do not define the nature of God. His faithfulness, his power, his love remain constant, even when our personal world feels like it's crumbling into dust. This pivot is a powerful psychological tool. It reorients your mind away from the endless loop of worry and fear, and towards a truth that transcends your immediate reality. It's an act of faith, yes, but it's also an act of deliberate focus. When you are drowning in the details of your struggle, constantly reliving the pain or rehearsing the what-ifs, you are essentially allowing your problem to become your God. It consumes your energy, dictates your peace, and ultimately controls your life. David challenges us to break free from this captivity. He calls us to consciously lift our eyes, to look beyond the immediate storm, and to remember the one who commands the winds and the waves. He teaches us to consciously interrupt the cycle of despair by recalling divine truth. This isn't about denial. It's about acknowledging the storm while simultaneously affirming the unwavering presence and power of the lighthouse. How then can you practice this perspective pivot in your own daily life? After you've honestly expressed your pain, after you've wrestled with your questions, take a deliberate breath. Then intentionally ask yourself, what truth about God, about his character, about his past faithfulness can I bring to mind right now? What truth remains unshaken regardless of my current circumstances? It might be recalling a past instance where you saw his provision, or remembering a promise from Scripture, or simply affirming his unchanging love. It's about anchoring yourself in something stable when everything else feels chaotic. This consistent practice of shifting your focus from the overwhelming problem to the unchanging character of God is a strategic act of mental and spiritual resistance against despair. It doesn't make the problem disappear, but it changes your relationship to it. It reminds you that while your immediate world may be shaken, the foundation upon which your hope rests is eternal. Are you ready to practice this pivot, to consciously shift your gaze from the crisis to the Creator, and discover a profound wellspring of peace even in the midst of your storm? You've lamented, pouring out your deepest sorrows and questions. You've pivoted your perspective, intentionally shifting your gaze from the overwhelming problem to the unchanging character of God. But what now? Life, even after these profound acts of spiritual recalibration, still demands action, doesn't it? We still face choices, crossroads, and often uncharted territory where the path forward seems utterly shrouded in fog. How do we navigate these wilderness seasons when our own internal compass feels broken and the clamor of the world offers 1,000 conflicting directions? In our modern age, we've become accustomed to instant answers. We crave certainty, a step-by-step guide, a precise Google Maps for every decision, every relationship, every career move. We grasp for quick solutions, for external validation, for any sign that tells us, unequivocally, go left or go right. But David's Psalms offer something far more enduring, far more profound than a simple instruction manual. They present us with what I call the divine GPS. It's not a system that barks out turn-by-turn directions for every specific scenario in your life. Instead, it illuminates the principles for wise living, for ethical integrity, for discerning counsel, and most importantly, for understanding the very character of God as the ultimate unfailing guide. It teaches us how to ask for direction, and perhaps even more critically, how to listen. Think of David's life. He wasn't always given clear, undeniable signs. He had to make difficult choices, whether to flee or fight, whom to trust, how to lead a nation, how to reconcile with his own failures. Yet through it all, his Psalms reveal a man consistently seeking divine input. Teach me your ways, O Lord. Instruct me in your paths, he prays in Psalm 25. This isn't a passive plea. It's an active posture of seeking, an expectation that God will respond, perhaps not with a booming voice from the heavens, but with clarity that settles in the heart and mind. David articulates his confusion, his profound desire for clarity, his longing for God's wisdom to light his way. He wasn't afraid to admit he was lost. He was simply determined to find the waymaker. And how does this divine GPS provide its guidance? Often it's not through a direct audible voice as much as we might wish it were. It comes through reflection on God's established principles, his timeless moral and spiritual laws that act like guardrails on life's highway. Consider Psalm 119, perhaps the longest and most profound meditation on divine guidance ever written. Your word is a lamp for my feet, a light on my path. A lamp for your feet illuminates just the next step, not the entire journey. It provides enough light for present obedience, enough clarity for the immediate choice, trusting that as you take that lighted step, the next portion of the path will also be revealed. This isn't about seeing the destination from the outset. It's about trusting the guide through the fog. Listening, then, becomes an active discipline. It means quiet contemplation, allowing the ancient words of wisdom to speak into your current dilemma. It means seeking wise counsel from those whose lives reflect the principles you find in the Psalms. It means paying attention to the subtle stirrings of peace or unease within your spirit. It means aligning your desires with divine will, understanding that true guidance often involves a transformation of your heart's longing, not just a direct answer to your question. We, in our rush, often want God to rubber stamp our own plans. The Psalms invite us into a deeper partnership, where His wisdom shapes our desires and His direction becomes our greatest delight. So how can you engage this divine GPS in your own life, especially when facing those uncertain terrains? Before a significant decision, or even in the quiet moments of daily pondering, intentionally turn to a psalm known for its wisdom, like Psalm 1, which speaks of the blessedness of delighting in God's law, or Psalm 32, which promises instruction and guidance for the wise. Read it slowly, prayerfully. What principles emerge from its ancient verses that speak to your present situation? What does it reveal about the character of the guide you are seeking? Remember, this GPS requires constant interaction. You ask, you listen, you reflect, you adjust. It's not a one-time download, it's an ongoing relationship. And in that relationship, you'll discover a clarity and a peace that no amount of external advice or quick answers could ever provide, because you are learning to navigate life with the very wisdom of the divine. Are you ready to engage this profound guidance system, to allow the Psalms to light your very next step in life's uncharted territory? You've learned to articulate your rawest emotions, to unleash your sacred lament into the divine ear. You've mastered the perspective pivot, consciously shifting your focus from the overwhelming problem to the unchanging character of God. You've even begun to navigate life's uncharted waters with the divine GPS, allowing ancient wisdom to light your next step. And yet, even with all this profound spiritual armament, a persistent whisper might still linger. Am I truly walking this path alone? Does anyone else feel this deeply, question this profoundly, or struggle with these same burdens? It's a human longing, isn't it? A fundamental need to know we are part of something larger, that our story isn't an isolated anomaly, but a thread woven into a vast, intricate tapestry. This is the beauty, the breathtaking revelation of the Psalms. For even though David's Psalms began as his most intimate personal conversations with God, his private cries, his solo wrestling matches with despair, his quiet moments of praise, they were never meant to remain solely his. Over time, these intensely personal expressions were adopted, embraced, sung, and prayed by generations upon generations. They became the very language of corporate worship, the shared emotional vocabulary for entire communities. Think about it. A shepherd boy's heartfelt cry becomes the anthem for millions. A king's personal lament for his sins becomes the confession for countless souls seeking forgiveness. His desperate plea for deliverance, echoing in the quiet of his tent, transformed into a resounding hope for an entire nation facing tribulation. This phenomenon, this incredible journey from personal diary to universal hymn, reveals what I call the invisible hand of community. When you pick up a psalm today, when you allow its words to wash over you, validating your fears or amplifying your gratitude, you are not just reading ancient poetry. You are joining a chorus, a vast, unseen fellowship that spans millennia and circles the globe. You are aligning yourself with billions of souls, from desperate saints in Roman dungeons to solitary monks in medieval cloisters, from humble farmers in ancient Israel to bustling city dwellers in our modern age, who have found solace, strength, and identification in those very same verses. Your struggle, however unique and personal it feels in this moment, connects you to a story far grander than your own. You realize that the very same pain you articulate, the very same hope you cling to, has been felt, expressed, and overcome by countless others before you, and is being felt by countless others alongside you. This understanding is more than just comforting, it's deeply empowering. It dismantles the isolation. It silences the lie that tells you your pain is too strange, too profound, or too shameful to be shared. When you read Psalm 23, you're not just hearing David's confidence in his shepherd. You're echoing the trust of every person who has ever felt guided through dark valleys. When you engage with Psalm 51, you're not just witnessing David's confession, you're participating in the universal human experience of seeking redemption and purification. This shared spiritual heritage, this profound resonance across time, reminds us that our deepest struggles are often universal. They are part of the human condition, yes, but crucially, they are also part of the divine solution, a journey often walked in the quiet strength of a shared faith. So how can you consciously lean into this invisible hand of community in your own spiritual journey? It begins with intentionality. The next time a psalm profoundly resonates with you, ask yourself, who else in history or even in my present life might this speak to? Could this be a bridge to connect with someone else? Perhaps it's about finding a community, a group of believers, a small prayer circle, who also engage with these texts, allowing their shared experience to amplify your own understanding and solace. Or maybe it's as simple as sharing a particular verse that spoke to you with a friend or a loved one who might be walking through their own valley. By doing so, you are not just offering words, you are extending that invisible hand, reminding them, as the Psalms remind you, that no struggle goes unheard and no heart remains truly isolated. Your personal connection to the Psalms becomes a conduit for communal strength, a testament that you are part of a larger story of resilience, hope, and unwavering faith. This profound realization that your private journey is intrinsically linked to a universal testament of faith is the very foundation upon which daily strength is built. You have now journeyed through the profound depths of the sacred lament, bravely giving voice to your deepest pain. You have experienced the liberating power of the perspective pivot, shifting your gaze from overwhelming problems to the unchanging nature of the divine. And you have tapped into the incredible wisdom of the divine GPS, finding guidance for life's uncharted territories. Furthermore, you've grasped the comforting truth of the invisible hand of community, understanding that your personal struggle is woven into a vast, ancient tapestry of shared human experience. But after all this profound revelation, a practical question remains. How do we bring these transformative principles from abstract understanding into the gritty, often chaotic reality of our daily lives? How do we make the Psalms not just a source of occasional comfort, but a consistent, practical, daily anchor that grounds us, centers us, and empowers us through every single day? This isn't about imposing a rigid, demanding religious ritual upon yourself. Far from it. We are not asking you to become a theologian or to memorize vast swathes of scripture overnight. Instead, we are inviting you to become a Psalms practitioner. This is about cultivating a simple, yet profoundly impactful, daily habit that allows these timeless truths to permeate your being, transforming your outlook and bolstering your spirit. Think of it as a spiritual compass you check each morning, a wellspring you visit to replenish your inner reserves, a steadying hand you reach for when the world feels unsteady. The goal is consistency, not perfection. The power lies in the intentionality of engaging with these ancient words, allowing them to speak directly into your modern soul, making them your own. So where do you begin this practical daily practice? It starts with a commitment, a conscious decision to dedicate just a few moments each day to this ancient wisdom. The most straightforward approach is to commit to reading just one psalm a day. Yes, just one. This isn't a race to finish the book. It's an invitation to savor, to meditate, to allow the words to sink deep within you. Don't rush through it as if it were another item on your to-do list. Instead, approach it with an open heart and a receptive mind, creating a sacred space, however brief, in your day. This might be first thing in the morning, setting the tone for the hours ahead, or perhaps in a quiet moment during your lunch break, or even as a calming ritual before you rest at night. The precise timing is less important than the consistent practice itself. As you read your chosen psalm, engage with it actively. Don't just let your eyes glide over the words. What verse? What phrase? What single image or emotion in that psalm jumps out at you? Does it validate a feeling you've been carrying? Does it offer a truth you desperately need to hear? Does it stir a question within your spirit? Pause there. Linger. Let that particular verse or phrase resonate, allowing it to become a touchstone for your thoughts and emotions. Perhaps David's cry of desperation mirrors your own unspoken anxieties, or his declaration of God's faithfulness reminds you of a hope you had almost forgotten. Let the psalm be a mirror, reflecting your current state, and simultaneously a window, offering a glimpse into divine perspective. Beyond merely reading, allow this engagement to become your own conversation with the divine. You might find it helpful to journal your reflections. Write down that striking verse and then explore what it means for you right now in your specific circumstances. Turn it into a prayer, articulating your own response, your own lament, your own praise, your own request for guidance. This is the heart of becoming a Psalms practitioner, making David's ancient dialogue your present-day communion. It's allowing his inspired words to give voice to your own unarticulated thoughts, fears, and hopes, bridging the gap between historical text and living experience. This daily encounter becomes a profound moment of connection, a sacred pause in the relentless pace of life. And then here's a powerful psychological hack. Choose one key phrase or truth from your daily psalm and carry it with you throughout your day. Let it be a mental anchor. When stress threatens to overwhelm, recall that phrase. When doubt creeps in, let that truth be your shield. When gratitude swells, let that phrase be your expression. This isn't about rote memorization. It's about allowing a fragment of divine wisdom to subtly reframe your daily interactions, your internal monologue, your responses to challenges. It becomes a quiet companion, a constant whisper of encouragement, a reminder that you are walking through your day not alone, but guided and companioned by timeless truth. This consistent, gentle engagement doesn't just offer fleeting comfort. It gradually, imperceptibly, rewires your inner landscape. It cultivates resilience, deepens your faith, and instills a profound sense of peace that is not dependent on external circumstances. It transforms your daily walk into a purposeful journey, anchored in something far greater than yourself. Are you ready to embrace this simple yet powerful psalm practice? To truly make this wisdom your own, day by day, moment by moment? You've poured out your heart in sacred lament, courageously voicing the unspoken. You've consciously pivoted your perspective, intentionally lifting your gaze from the overwhelming crisis to the steady character of God. You've engaged the divine GPS, allowing ancient wisdom to illuminate the next step in life's often foggy terrain. You've even felt the comforting embrace of the invisible hand of community, understanding that your unique journey is deeply intertwined with a shared human story of faith and resilience. And now you've begun to anchor yourself daily in the profound, transformative psalm practice, making these truths an integral part of your everyday existence. As you reflect on this journey, this unfolding discovery, what happens to that initial deafening silence? What becomes of that insidious whisper, the one that told you, so convincingly, you are utterly, completely alone? When you intentionally engage with these practices, something fundamental shifts within you. That silence, once filled with the echoing void of isolation, begins to transform. It's no longer a hollow emptiness, but a space filled with a deeper, more profound awareness of presence. The silence doesn't vanish, but its character changes entirely. It becomes contemplative, receptive, a sacred stillness where you can hear the whisper of divine guidance, feel the subtle stirrings of hope, and recognize the quiet strength blooming within your own soul. You were never meant to struggle alone. This truth, once a theoretical concept, now begins to solidify into a lived reality. The Psalms are far more than ancient scripture. They are a living, breathing testament to a God who hears every cry, sees every tear, and guides every faltering step. They are David's enduring legacy, passed down through countless generations, precisely because they speak to the universal human condition, to the very core of our vulnerabilities and our desperate need for meaning and connection. They are not distant relics. They are dynamic tools, potent and ready to empower you right here, right now, in the midst of your own life seasons. The journey through the Psalms teaches you that true strength isn't found in denying your pain, but in courageously bringing it into the light. It's not about the absence of struggle, but the presence of an unwavering companion through every trial. It's about discovering that your lament can lead to praise, your confusion can give way to clarity, and your isolation can dissolve into a profound sense of belonging. The very acts of honest expression, intentional refocusing, seeking guidance, and connecting with a shared heritage are not just coping mechanisms. They are pathways to a deeper, more authentic faith, a faith that can withstand any storm. So, look back at that initial feeling, that crushing weight of silence and solitude. Can you feel the shift? The deafening silence can now be filled, not with superficial noise, but with a song of hope, a lament that eventually leads to genuine praise, and a divine guidance system that, once engaged, truly never fails. Your internal compass, once spinning wildly, is now being recalibrated and reoriented, not just towards an external destination, but towards an internal peace that transcends circumstances. Stop struggling alone. You have always been part of a greater narrative, part of a vast spiritual family. You don't have to carry the weight by yourself, because you truly don't have to. You are seen, you are heard, you are guided, you are connected. And in that profound realization, a new chapter of peace, purpose, and unshakable hope truly begins for you. You've journeyed through the desolate landscape of the sacred lament, bravely giving voice to your deepest, most hidden pains. You've consciously pivoted your perspective, lifting your eyes from the immediate crisis to the unchanging character of the divine. You've engaged the divine GPS, allowing ancient wisdom to illuminate the next step in life's often confusing terrain. And you've embraced the comforting truth of the invisible hand of community, understanding that your unique struggles are woven into a vast, ancient tapestry of shared human experience. Finally, you've discovered and begun to cultivate your daily psalm practice, anchoring yourself in timeless truth. The silence, once so deafening, is now filled with a song of hope, a lament that leads to praise, and a guidance system that, once engaged, never truly fails. You have stopped struggling alone because you truly don't have to. Now, as you stand at this precipice of understanding, having walked this path of profound discovery, there's one more crucial step. This journey, while deeply personal, is not meant to be traveled in isolation. The very essence of the Psalms, their transformation from personal cry to communal anthem, underscores a powerful truth. Our healing, our growth, and our deepest insights are often amplified when shared. You've heard David's ancient voice resonate with your own. What if your voice, your experience, your newfound understanding could resonate with someone else? What if your journey, once so private, could become a beacon, a source of connection and encouragement for another soul grappling with their own silent struggles? This isn't just about taking information, it's about becoming part of the ongoing story. It's about letting the light you've found illuminate the path for others. So if this message, if this deep dive into the practical power of the Psalms has resonated within your heart, if you feel a stirring, a quiet conviction that this ancient wisdom can truly transform modern life, then I invite you to take a moment. Take a moment to reflect on what precisely touched you most profoundly. Was it the permission to truly lament, to be honest with your pain? Was it the revelation that shifting your perspective can bring a profound sense of peace? Was it the clarity of the divine GPS, showing you a way forward in confusion? Or was it the sheer comfort of realizing you are part of an invisible yet powerful community that has walked these very paths before? I urge you now to step into this shared space. Leave a comment below, not just for me, but for the countless others who will come after you, searching for the very same solace, the very same guidance. Share with us one feeling you've been struggling with, the one you now feel courageous enough to voice. Or perhaps share one psalm that has brought you unexpected comfort, a verse that has become your personal anchor in these turbulent times. By sharing, you are not just offering a comment, you are extending that invisible hand of community. You are showing another human being who might be feeling utterly alone right now that their struggle is heard, it is understood, and there is a pathway forward. Let's cultivate this space together, a place where no struggle goes unheard, and where ancient wisdom meets modern hearts. This is how we build true resilience together. And if you found yourself nodding along, if you felt a spark of recognition, a sense of hope ignite within you, then consider this an invitation to continue this journey with us. Let's make sure this message reaches every soul who needs it. Subscribe now for more insights into how ancient wisdom can truly illuminate and transform your modern life. Your engagement helps us reach those who are still caught in that deafening silence, those who are still battling alone. And if this video sparked something within you, if it offered even a flicker of light, please like this video. It's a simple act, but it helps the algorithms understand that this message is valuable, allowing it to reach more individuals who are desperately searching for exactly what you've just found. Let's build a movement of hope, connection, and ancient wisdom for a very modern world.